Welcome to the Wellbeing at Home channel. Today you will see 5 things that every diabetic does wrong, and if you stay until the end of this video, you will win a very valuable gift for those who want to have a diabetes control. Diabetes is a complicated disease. It requires a major lifestyle change, and if this change does not happen, it can generate serious consequences that can last a lifetime. That is why it is important to meet the 5 most common colleagues committed when fighting diabetes, so that you know where to forward your efforts and changes. Let's then meet the 5 most common mistakes made by diabetics. Number 5. Do not take care of diabetes at first. Diabetes is a silent disease. She exhibits some characteristic symptoms that may well go unnoticed. This is why it is important to keep your exams up to date to catch the disease early on. But a lot of people, even though they know they have diabetes, let it go at first. The lack of worrying symptoms may give the impression of a mild case or something that does not require as much attention. The point is that complications that could be seen with more serious symptoms or more worthy of concern tend to be irreversible. So if you let yourself worry when it seems troubling, it may be too late. Otherwise, there is something called metabolic memory. Metabolic memory in the case of diabetes causes early control to lead to long-term benefits. If you do good control at first, the complications tend to be less serious. Number 4. Thinking your glucose is good because you don't feel anything. This second mistake has a lot to do with the first, diabetes being a serious disease. A lot of people think that feeling good means that everything is okay inside. But that's not quite how it works. As we talked about in the case of number 5, diabetes can be a silent disease, and that is why high monitoring is so important. If you have diabetes and your blood sugar starts to get very altered, it is important that you see your doctor to take precautions. The cumulative effect of high blood glucose will not cause the much feared complications. If you expect to feel bad about it, it is likely that you will only seek medical attention when complications are occurring, as simple blood sugar changes will often not be felt right away. Even feared complications such as vision loss can begin to occur and only be perceived after years when the situation begins to become critical, and by then it is too late. The tip then is to invest in a glucose measuring device to have at home and do frequent monitoring. If this is not possible, you can also search for the nearest basic health unit to your home to see how you can monitor and know if it is minimal. Number 3. Thinking the same medication will work for the rest of your life. Type 2 diabetes is a degenerative disease. This means that it happens mainly through the degradation of the pancreatic cells that produce insulin. Diabetes is controlled through lifestyle changes, and if they do not happen, the trend is for this advance to be faster and faster. From there, the patient is subject to the so feared complications. But even if the necessary changes are made, it is more likely that the disease will proceed even more slowly. That means periodic reviews of the medication will probably be needed for the rest of your life. That's why you always have to be in touch with your doctor. Number 2. Rely only on fasting blood sugar. A very common mistake that people who have diabetes make is thinking it's okay just because their fasting blood sugar is good. Fasting blood sugar is an important indicator of problems. This is because the same being 8 hours without eating knows if the level is high. It is most likely wrong, which does not mean that a good fasting glucose rate means that diabetes is well controlled. People with diabetes are subject to spikes of glucose after meals and during the day, for example. As when the peaks are too high, it impairs the control of diabetes and can cause complications. For this reason, in addition to the high monitoring, it is important to seek medical attention to perform tests such as minced hemoglobin. This test, for example, is able to evaluate average glucose levels in the last 2 or 3 months. Number 1. Finding that sugar is the only enemy. Many people think that what causes the idea according to diabetes is the consumption of sweets and sugar, although one has a lot to do with the other. There's no point in thinking we just cut the desserts out of the diet and solve the problem. Controlling diabetes goes through a series of measures such as maintaining a proper diet, losing weight in cases where this is necessary, doing physical activity and taking care of medication. It is important to understand that other things in diet also trigger and worsen diabetes. The consumption of carbohydrates in general can be problematic since carbohydrates are transformed into sugar in the body. The triglyceride measurements are actually a type of fat that is also linked to diabetes. In addition, it is necessary to be attentive to health in other senses such as heart health that can be impaired by diabetes and even skin. Now you already know some mistakes that are made by diabetics and that can harm your fighting the disease. But to help you change your lifestyle for good, we have a surprise for you. Remember that this is not the definitive cure. The great solution for diabetes you will find in the description of this video. The method that is revolutionizing the problems of those suffering from diabetes. Because the pharmaceutical industry and the professionals in the field don't want you to know that, because they make a lot of money selling those damn drugs that don't cure you. Therefore, if you suffer from this disease, click here on the description link and you will know the revolutionary method. One of the methods that has been helping hundreds of people solve their big problem with diabetes, a method made and approved by several experts. I assure you that if you do it the right way that the specialist passes, you will be able to treat this disease as soon as possible. However, you need to make this decision as soon as possible, because the vacancies that are available will only be available today. I hope you found it interesting. If you like the video, sign up and turn on the bell to be one of the first to receive notifications of new videos, and share with friends and family so this information is not lost. Stay with God and until the next video.